welcome to Relatively Sane. Oh my God, I've lost my mind. I already was losing my mind before COVID, but now I have gone over the edge. And I know a lot of you can relate to that. And I'm on social media constantly. It's really a problem. I try not to be, but it's so addictive. I mean, I'm nothing like my 14-year-old daughter. She literally does not put the phone down. And she's swiping up, down, left, right, turning the phone around, turning it upside down. I don't know what's going on. She's snapping pictures of herself. It's crazy. It's like she's on crack with the phone, just taking all these pictures, and then she'll laugh and snap another thing. And I'm like, honey, are you okay? Do we need to get you like sedated? What is happening? But I'm on these sites, I'm on Instagram and all this stuff. And I actually cannot believe how many people are still doing duck face. I thought that was going to go away a long time ago, but there's a lot of duck face still going around, which I never have done. I mean, can you imagine me, everyone here that knows me, that's watched me, if I did pictures with duck face? That would be hysterical. I also, there's people who really think they're hot. Like they take these pictures and they're like, I'm really hot. And I'm always amazed by that because no matter how good I look, I could have my hair and makeup done, whatever. I still don't, I never look at it and go, wow, I'm hot. But it's I guess good for them. More power to them, It's good that they think that of themselves. I some of the pictures are like porn. I like people are not dressed. I mean, women, not many men, but women. There's a lot of women who are not dressed in their pictures now. I'm seeing a lot of boob. I've seen some nip. A lot of them show their ass. There's a bare ass. Like I'll look at a picture and it'll just be a bare ass and it'll be like enjoying my Monday. I'm like, well, I'm enjoying looking at your ass on my Monday. Like, and why is it a picture of your ass? What's happening? Really, I just want to say that. What the hell is happening? Is anyone thinking the same thing? Can you believe what has been going on? It's so insane. I mean, the mask thing, I'm getting totally used to, I have to say. I actually like it. I like being a little hidden. And I'm actually glad that a couple of my friends are wearing masks because they're not attractive. I got to be honest. So it's easier to look at them with the mask on. They actually look attractive with a mask on because they have nice eyes and pretty hair. Oh God, what am I saying again? Here we go. I'm just rambling. But I like it. I don't like planning for this shit. I'd rather just ramble and talk about nonsense because life is nonsense. And really, who cares about anything anymore? Isn't that true? Because of everything going on. I feel like I could go outside with like stains all over my shirt and it doesn't even matter because of everything that's happening. Who cares anymore? I care that you're listening to my podcast. I am very grateful. You guys are the best. I am so glad that I'm putting new episodes out. We have some incredible ones coming soon. And I'm so glad that you're here and that you're supporting me. You can follow me on Instagram, Jessie Curson, Twitter, Jessica Curson. I have a Patreon account. You can get some bonus footage. It's awesome. I love Patreon. And I have my new podcast, Disgusting Hawk, which you can get on Gas Digital Network and on youtube.com. You can watch it and you can listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I'm very excited. Work is getting busier and things are happening. And we should all have some hope because things are turning around, or at least I'm telling myself that so I don't end up in a ball crying. I love you guys. Be careful, be safe, be silly. You're the best. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Relatively Sane. We're already cracking up. I am so excited to have my guest today. I love her. I've loved her. I met her 22 years ago and I've loved her ever since. I'm so excited. Leah Delaria is on. Hi, Leah.
Hey, Jessica.
Oh my God, we have a history together. It's I think that you forgot something else we did. We
Which
went,
was?
we went to a dungeon together in New York City with Kate
The
Rich.
gay dungeon?
Yeah, no, like a regular.
Dungeon?
Well, I mean, gay
Was I
and
drunk? Why do I not remember
I think
this?
we were all fucking wasted, but we went with other comics. And I laughed so hard that I know it's
I don't
amazing you don't
remember
I
it.
didn't
This
think
is
you
terrifying that
remember.
I don't remember it.
Well, it was 22 years ago is when I first started.
Oh my
And
God.
we were
You
like,
just killed me. I'll never forget watching you at Joe's Pub and you coming out on stage when you would do that girl who is basically unattractive but thinks she's attractive
okay,
at a party.
I am
Yeah,
so
you came
hot.
out with
Yeah.
that. Okay. I did not know you at all. I had never spoken to you. I had never seen you. So you came out with that face. And I was like, and you kept it up for 5 minutes easy. And then when you finally became a human being, I was like, that is the funniest bit I have ever seen in my entire life. That is so great.
I know.
That's
I
when I
wish.
fell in love with you.
Oh, I love you. Anyway, I need to know about your stand up because did you start as a stand up or as an actress or as a singer or all at the same time?
Uh,
Like,
I
how
could
did,
do it all. I studied, you can study. I acted a little bit, definitely in high school. And then I was a drama major.
oh,
But I left in November. Like we got to school in September. By November, I knew that, that I was spending a lot of money to fuck girls.
where did you
It just
go?
seemed,
Where
it
did you?
just seemed like I went to Illinois Wesleyan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it was
Okay.
a really good school and a
Yeah,
really excellent, well-known drama department. And I was like, I'm not going to class. I'm partying. I'm fucking girls. That's all I'm doing.
I
I could
love
be
it.
doing this at home and get a job. So yeah.
So
So I
what?
did that.
And then did you like did you, are your aspirations to be an actress? How did you get into comedy? Because a lot of people might not know. Some people that are like huge fans of yours as an actress don't know how long you've done stand up for. I mean,
Since 1982.
right. It's unreal. That is so long. I mean, I started in 99 and I feel like it's fucking hell.
I
Like,
was 24, but yeah, that's, and I've never had a day job. This is all I've ever done. So
I love it.
yeah. Believe it or not, okay, you're gonna love this. So Jessica, the first time I went out and did stand up, the very first time. Okay, the reason I tried, because I'm going to answer a couple of things.
Yeah, I want to know.
At that time in the 80s, the fastest way to get a television show or become an actor
Right.
was to do stand-up comedy. It was just a way in. However, I wanted to do a whole lot more, and like I wanted to talk about being queer. I wanted to be me on the stage, which relegated me pretty much out of the clubs because I would have to spend, Jesus, you know how it is. You're on the stage for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I would have to deal with like
I know.
hecklers,
Yes.
just boom, boom, boom,
Yep.
just because of the way I looked.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, wearing a tie. I'm talking about being a dyke. They weren't ready for it. So what happened was in San Francisco, they started this thing called Gay Open Mic Comedy Night.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was at the Valencia Rose in San Francisco. It was hosted by a guy named Tom Amiano, who's gone into politics since then. He's a very big political figure in San Francisco, but also a very funny guy, Tom, and love him. And I went to see it one night. And at the time I was like writing plays and directing them and, doing all this shit at the women's building, being a fucking, lesbian terrorist. And, so I went to this Gay Open Mic Comedy Night. I'll never forget it. Okay, first of all, there were no comics. It was just Tom. Tom was a comic.
Yeah.
There were like people came out with acoustic guitars and sang, and there was a fucking mime. There was a fucking mime. Why would a mime work anywhere where people are wearing t-shirts that say silence equals death? So it's like we're like in the middle of the AIDS crisis, and this is what I'm going to. And I
Wow.
was very rageful and my plays were funny and stuff. So I signed up for the following week and I went out on stage and you were only supposed to do, they gave you literally 10 minutes. Can you believe that? They gave you
Yeah.
10 minutes.
That's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
That's a
Yeah.
lot when you're starting out. Yeah.
And you just go, you're going to say you're lying. You're lying. I am not lying because it's a fact. I killed the first time I went out.
No,
Not only
I
did I do
believe
10
that.
minutes, I
Yeah.
did 20 minutes.
I believe
Never
it.
shut up. Audience screaming with laughter. It was just, because everybody I know bombed miserably the
Right.
first time they went on stage. But
I didn't. I didn't either. But
yeah,
I can see you because you're naturally funny and you probably had so much to say at
I
that
had
point.
so much to say and so many things at the time that nobody was saying
Hmm.
out loud.
Right.
You know
So
what I
beautiful.
mean?
Yeah.
So that was, and I was, one of the things I really tried to do was at the time, there was such a fucking fissure between dykes and fags in our community,
Mhm.
right? In the queer world. Like really, it was hard for me as a dyke to get into a fag bar. Like they would stop you. I mean, it
Wow.
was really not cool. And there was so much infighting between the two communities. So my goal was to try to get everybody in the room together, laughing at the same thing, which is essentially what happened to me because, I was too offensive to lesbians.
That's always
So
been
my
a story.
audience
I know.
were always 90% gay men.
Yeah, of course. Every female comic that's made it. It's the funniest
They were
thing.
so
Yeah.
offended by me.
Yeah.
They were so offended by me. So
I'm
they tried to
sure.
cancel me so many times, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking
And
about.
it's your people, it's your family.
My
And they're,
own people.
I know I can't take it. I
Yeah,
can't.
so that was I went back every Monday night. Then they offered me the job of co-hosting the Monday night. Then we started a Saturday night gig. As the people who were doing the open mics on Monday became popular, we had a place for them to perform,
Mhm.
right? So first time I went out was on April 20th, believe it or not, 420, before it was
Wow.
420.
Yeah.
Before it was 420, girl. And by September of that same year, I quit my day job and started supporting myself solely as a performer.
Wow.
And that is all I've ever done since 1982, this.
So did you do the club circuit? Like have you done, because you did it a different way, which a lot of people have. You didn't,
Mhm.
did you tour and go to clubs or did you do mostly like theaters and stuff? Like
I
small
did theaters. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was playing halls, theaters, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would do some of the clubs, but not until after I did Arsenio. Once I
Wow.
did television, the clubs wanted me.
Was Arsenio the first
Yep.
TV show you ever did?
Yeah, I was the first openly gay comic on television in America
I
on
know,
Arsenio Hall,
and
1993.
people don't know that. So that's
Yeah.
why I was going to say it. So I'm so happy you said it. That is so huge. Was it a big process to get the material like okayed? Because you know how you have to, every joke has to
Well,
be.
you know how it is. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they had to vet all the material. They absolutely had to vet the material. And I had that joke about this is the joke that got me in trouble with feminists hugely, about the Clinton administration at the time had just enacted Don't Ask, Don't Tell, right? So a
Right.
lot of gay people were very, 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 very upset with that
Mhm.
administration.
Mhm.
And I said, I had this joke was I like the Clinton administration. I'm sorry, I like the Clinton administration because finally we have a first lady you could fuck, is the joke, right? Finally in our country, we have a first lady you could fuck. And so we wanted to do it on Arsenio. So the production call between me
Oh, it's great.
and producers
Yeah.
about what word we could use other than fuck was, and I was like on it too. I was like, just pound. How about pound? I was so mean.
Pound is amazing.
We finally ended with boink. I could say boink.
Oh God, that
Yeah.
is so fucking funny to me that it was boink.
Boink. And then once I did the set, well, first of all, I literally had 2020 with me.
Wow.
So 2020 is filming me while I'm going to do the Arsenio Hall show and be the first openly gay comic on television in America. So they're filming me, and I'm backstage, And then I'm being, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've never done
Yeah.
anything like this before.
Yeah.
So he comes in, Arsenio knocks on the door and comes into my room and sits down and just talks to me. And I was later told that he never did that.
Yeah.
He was doing it because he knew that something big was about to happen and he wanted to make sure I was okay, which I thought was really sweet of him.
Oh, that's
You know what I
really
mean?
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And then afterwards, he got called, and this is the part of the story that nobody knows. I did 5 minutes on the couch, a 4.5 minute set, which is basically what you do. So I was on for almost 10 minutes, 9.5 minutes.
Mhm.
And the Advocate did an article on it where they said in the 10 minutes I was on stage, I said the word dyke, fag, or queer 47 times.
I love you.
So as soon as this thing's over, and I did kill, it was very, very well received.
I remember seeing it a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very well received. But the censors, the lawyers called Arsenio in and said, we can't air this because I was using the words dykes, fag, and queer. And Arsenio went to bat for me. He fought and said, look, she's a dyke. If she wants to call herself a dyke, it's none of our concern. He really went to bat. And he is the reason that aired, because they were going to stop it.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Isn't that amazing that because of one person you can, it'll work out? That it's really, this business is so great. What happened after that? Like, did you?
It was an explosion for me. I mean, that was my first brush with like world fame. Like people knew me in every English speaking country of the world. Gay people did, most definitely, and who else became ultra famous at that time was RuPaul. So Ru and I were doing a lot of the gay pride circuit at that.
I remember that.
We were always at the same gay pride at the same time. So, I mean, so we became friends. And when he got his talk show, he had me on the one talk show that he had on VH1. So I was one of the first guests that was on. Because I remember he asked me which Spice I was, and I said I was Old Spice. I'm Old Spice. Yeah, it's just, she laughed pretty hard at that one. But so everything changed. For example, I used to perform at Provincetown every summer. I started in 1982. Yeah. I'm sorry, 1984. And then by 1993, I did Arsenio. Boom, I was off. I was touring the world and not playing Provincetown every summer.
And when Provincetown is in Massachusetts, for people who don't know, and a lot of queer acts work there, and it's amazing. It's so much fun. But when you,
not as fun as it used to be. The old days.
Now it's like
you got the tail end of it, Jessica. You got the tail.
I got the tail end of it. You're right, but I don't go back anymore because I also am not going to stand on the street and flyer with all these.
Do that?
Oh my God, you're handing out these flyers and these dykes like, are you funny? I'm like, fuck you. Like,
why don't you know that I'm funny? I'm just Curzon. Fuck you.
People are, yeah, but it's.
Well, I bought a nightclub, so now I actually do stand on the street and flyer to get people to come into the club.
Leah,
I just stand there and do it.
Bought that club. Does it have the same? What do you call it now? Is it the same name?
It's called the Club.
Oh, right. Okay. So if you guys are listening,
you
got to go to the club this summer. It'll be open this summer, right?
We were open last summer, so yeah. We
good.
couldn't have performances. We could only serve food and play music. Hopefully, I'm not sure what's going to happen around performances this summer either. I mean, don't you miss it? Are you ready to put your fucking knife in your eye?
I'm dying. I mean, I'm doing Zoom stuff, which is horrific. And I know, but
Can we go on record and talk about how much we fucking hate doing shit on Zoom?
It's hard. Everyone has to hold up their dog. There's babies. There's old Jewish people. I do these Jewish gigs and they're like, I can't see her. Can she hear me? Like they're all like, their face is right up to the screen. They're like, Henry, how do you work this thing? Like, I'm just like, I am going to die. I'm literally going to die. And I'm doing some stuff in person, but very socially distanced, like outside or, it's hard.
I haven't even been able to get to that yet. I'm starting in November, things opened up in terms of my work in television, like filming stuff.
Mhm.
And doing podcasts, believe it or not. And but yeah, no live performance. I'm like,
No,
somebody please, can we do a live performance anywhere?
I know. You'd think in LA outside they'd have a ton of them. I don't know why there's not, why are there not so many shows going on right now? It's weird.
I have no clue. The
But
restaurants are open, but no shows.
I know. Same in New
No movie
York.
theaters
No
either.
show.
No movie
Nope.
theaters either.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you toured after Arsenio, did you do all stand up or did you do your did you sing
I
all?
always had a mixture of music and comedy. There was always, and at that time I was using a jazz trio, so piano, bass, and drums.
You're
And
amazing.
what I did was I used pickup musicians in whatever city I was in. You call the
Oh,
musicians union. I would say, give me a pre-existing trio, like somebody who's
great.
already got a trio. And then we would, we would run the charts and do the show.
Yeah, and people that don't know you don't know that about you either. Like if they just watch you, which everyone's obsessed with you from Orange is the New Black and from all these other things you do, but they would never know that you're a famous jazz singer. Like you're unbelievable. I've sat and watched you and been like, holy shit. I mean, but people
Thanks.
they don't, you know, they don't I don't know if people know how versatile you are if they just know you as an actress. So it's
Mhm.
really interesting that you've done all these things. I love that you incorporated everything into your act. Like,
Yeah, everything goes right into my act. The jazz, Broadway, yeah, stand up, all of that.
is there one
So
favorite thing? Is it acting or is there or no? Do you love
I
them?
think acting is probably the worst thing that I do. I really do. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always said that about myself, is specifically television acting.
Yeah.
Um, I've always said it's the worst thing that I do. Apparently not, because
Yeah, no,
everybody's
it's not.
like,
You're a
"Oh, you're
great
fucking
actress.
great," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Really? Am I? Really?" Because
I think most
love
comics
it on
like
stage. I know I'm great when I'm on stage, and I'm in like
right.
in a wig and heels and downstage center beating a D, belting a D sharp,
Yeah.
playing a showbiz broad. I know that I can do that. That's where I think I shine.
Well,
But
television is very intimidating. I get very insecure when I'm acting. And I people are like, you did a great job. I'm like, really? I don't know. It just because it's not, you're not free. You're not saying your own words, you're reading
no,
lines. It's like
no,
it's different, obviously. It's very
no,
different.
no.
It's
Well, I just filmed the show. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. You know what? I can't talk about it. I just realized I literally cannot tell you what it is.
no, that's okay.
But
But did you have fun filming it? Was it
I did, and it was the person. I think it's this has to be kept a secret. But when we're not shooting and talking on your podcast, I'll tell you who. But the show is a very funny woman. It's her show, so they had me come in. They had this one part. They were like, "Leah'll be great. I know this woman. We know each other."
yeah.
So at first, it was just lines. But then the director came in and said, "Okay, you two want to play now?" And I was like,
Good.
"Really?
That's
Really?
always
I
better.
get to play?"
Yeah.
And so then it just became the two of us trying to make each other laugh during the take.
I love
Like,
that.
who can ruin the take?
I love that so much. That's the best.
Natasha used to do that. Natasha and I used to do that all the time. Every scene we were in would revert to some sort of ad-libbing that would, and the only point of it was see who could make the other person laugh and run the take. And
That is so funny to me. So wait, how was it filming Orange is the New Black? Because to me, as an actress and someone who's been on set, it looks brutal. I mean, it must have been so much fun and amazing, but it was a lot, right? I mean,
well, it's an episodic, so it was a lot. And we had
right.
we started with an 8-day shoot cycle, which was, they quickly found out wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So they went to a 9-day, and they quickly found out that wasn't going to work. So we ended up on an 11-day shoot for it. And you'll notice, this is a thing that I think is so hilarious. You'll notice pretty much starting in season 2, there aren't really a lot of scenes where we're in where we're eating, for example,
Yeah.
right? But
Yes.
yeah, so anything like that, like there were no scenes because basically there were so many extras involved, so much that would be going on in these
Yeah.
scenes. They were really, yeah. So obviously we
That's
were laughing about it. We were like in the middle of season 2, and I went, "Has anybody else noticed that we're not really in the
We're alone in
common
this.
room
Yeah.
anymore and eating anymore. We were laughing about it because brutal, really hard.
Brutal. Yeah.
You know that very, I would say, the for me anyway, for Boo, a pretty iconic moment in the show when we had that election and everybody's in the common room and Boo does this like dance.
Yeah.
And yeah, ends up being basically daggered by Crazy Eyes. When we had been filming in that common room, we were over time. At this point,
Oh my God.
we started at like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock at night.
I know. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and
exhausting.
11 o'clock at night, and the director comes over to me and he goes, "What do you want? We're thinking about maybe cutting this." And I went, "Oh, please don't." And he goes, "Okay, well, what are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I'm kind of gonna play it by ear, but I did think that I would scream, 'Who wants a piece of Big Boo?' as I rip my shirt off and throw it, because it was written for her to do like a strip tease."
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and then end up getting daggered by Crazy Eyes. And I said, "Would that work?" And Mike went, "Yeah, let's do that." So we do the first take, 16 hours. We've been on for, we've been
Oh
at this, 16
yeah.
hours at this point. It's 11 o'clock at
In
night.
one room. In one room.
One
It's
room.
so
And,
exhausting.
background actors. And of course, we only had 40 regulars, I think 44 regulars. So like, 44 cast members, background actors, and none of them know, like there's a moment you can see it, like you can see certain people like Natasha and Elizabeth and oh my, and just everybody just go jaws drop when I start, because they had no clue what I was going to do. And then the reaction was fantastic. And it ends up with me on the floor and I'm doing this.
I remember it.
I'm like fucking the floor.
Yeah.
And when it was all over and we yelled cut, Mike Trim, who was the director of that episode, I love him, great director.
Yeah.
Mikey came over and he pulled me up from the floor and just started applauding and gave me like this big hug in the whole room. And he looked at me and he goes, "Can you do it again?" And I went, "Yeah, I can do it again."
Right, you have to do it 11 more times.
Everyone's giving me applause. Of course I can do it again.
I love that. I mean, where do you think that came from? Like wanting to perform and but did you, because for me, it was like, there's a bunch of reasons, I think. But one of the things is I never felt like I was seen as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I always had to be small, told to be quiet, analyzed and all this other shit. So I wanted to be big. Like once I got free, I was like, don't tell me what to say. I'm going to be as loud as I can be. Is that, what do you think is the reason why you became a performer?
I think I think mine's a little different than you because I'm a child of performers.
Oh,
my dad was a jazz pianist and my mother was a dancer. So there was always something. There was always music. We were always watching something. There was always, like my mom, I know that most parents would go outside and play.
Yeah.
Kid, but my mom loved that I wanted to stay inside and watch old Betty Davis pictures with her. Like that was the best, right? So I think they encouraged me, and my dad encouraged me from a very young age to perform. I used to sing with him when I was a kid in nightclubs in St. Louis and East St. Louis. So, I mean, they were always encouraged. What I think made me want to be a comic, which is a little different, was how easily I could make the nun laugh so that she wouldn't hit me. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I went to
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I remember getting such a kick out of it. And then when I went into high school, I started competing they were called individual events. I don't know if you had this in your high school, but it was like you were an individual events team or the debate team. And you would go to different schools and literally compete in humorous duet acting,
Oh, that's cool.
Or yeah. I
Yeah.
did original comedy. So I wrote something and then performed it. So that made me want even more and more to do something like that. And I would do, like, for example, I ran for office every year only because I got to talk to my class, like the entire class in the auditorium. I did it so that I could stand there for 3 minutes and make them laugh.
That's
literally,
my
everyone
God.
knew I didn't want the office. I was just doing it to be funny.
I'm so impressed by that because I was petrified. I was petrified of standing in front of people. So
Oh,
it's
that
like,
never.
yeah, that's so awesome. I mean, and when did you actually come out? Was it at a young age? Were you a teenager?
Yeah, I was 20. I knew at the age of 16, I had a fake ID. I went to my first dive bar when I was 16.
Yeah.
But it was the age of 20 that I really just told everyone.
And how did your family react? Were they?
Well, my my brother was shocked. Which I mean, look at me.
I love when people are shocked. It's really like my whole family knew. Yes.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. My both my sisters knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no fooling them. My mom, but what you don't now, this is the part that I love to tell people. I did not actually come out to my parents until I was known. I was like openly gay comic performing all over the United States. I just forgot to tell my parents. Just forgot.
Right.
So they decided they were going to come to Provincetown because I was there performing for the summer. And
it's like it was the gayest place on earth.
Come see you perform. And I went, I guess I have to tell them now. So I wrote them a letter. I even wrote them a letter. I didn't call them. I wrote them a fucking letter.
I had the same thing. It was very hard for me with my parents. Like, I don't know why, because they didn't care. They were like, I mean, they cared more that how I'd be treated than that's what they were upset about, is how I'd have to live my life.
They were always worried about that. They were always worried about that. But then once I did Arsenio, that went out the window. Nobody, no more of that. Never worried about me again. Television is a great equalizer, especially when I was on Matlock for like 2 seasons. So seeing your dyke daughter, it eases the pain a little bit if your dyke daughter is standing next to Andy Griffith
on Matt,
and you're the age parents that you are.
That's so funny. It does ease
the most wholesome man in America, and me standing next to him. It's just.
What do you think was your favorite television experience? I mean, I know it's so hard because you've done so many different things, but
that's like this.
Yeah.
That always stands out for me, the Matlock thing, because Ange was so. Ange was a lovely man. I don't think people really know that about him, but he was a very lovely man. He's also a stand-up comic, Jessica. I had no idea. He was a stand-up comic. He would play his guitar, sing, like me, and then do comedy. So he was very welcoming to me and warming. And I knew Bupkis. I knew nothing. So almost everything I know about television acting, I learned from Andy Griffith, is what I say. He was like, mentored me. So that's always good. But without a doubt, and Orange will always stand out. It's impossible. However, I just did this thing called Reprisal. It's on Hulu. It's the best, most fun thing I have ever done in my life.
Why?
Because I play Queenie, who runs what they call the Bangarang, for lack of a better word, let's call it a burlesque. So Queenie was the queen of burlesque. Wow. So I would come out on stage with these huge wigs and mermaid dresses and tight, like this, and do I would be the MC at this event. So I'm being funny, right? And they were letting me just say whatever I
that's amazing. Right?
Or I'd get to sing and I would get to dance with the girls and do all of that. And I'm a huge drag queen. I can show you these pictures that are just insane. Big wigs. I mean, I did a Harajuku episode where they, those Harajuku girls with the big red circles on. Yeah.
Oh, I got to see that.
Wow. Oh my God. I will send you pictures. This is shit, Jessica. It's so great. But then when I was off stage, when I wasn't doing stage, I was the member of a gang. Okay.
Oh, this is
gearheads. Of gearheads. They were gearheads. And I drove a rat rod that I named Gladys. She was fabulous. And I looked like me. I looked like this, right? Yeah. But it would wear kind of more 50s outfit, leather jackets and stuff like that, driving my rat rod. And I kill one guy with a screwdriver. I just shove it in his
Oh, what
stomach.
a great gig. This sounds like
And
heaven.
I beat another woman to death with a frying pan. You know what I
So
mean? So it
jealous.
was like, this is so much fun. I got to drive a rat rob. I got to kill people. I always wanted to know how the blood splatter things work. And
Yeah.
now I know that a guy lays on the floor next to the camera with a little thing. And
Yeah.
when you were going, you're hitting a pillow as they go and they squirt blood in
Yeah.
your face. I now know how that works.
I love it. That's so amazing. I mean, it's so cool that you've done so many different things. What is there something you haven't done that you really would
I'm
love
still
to
waiting for
do?
somebody to write me that Broadway show. I'm still waiting for, because all my Broadway work has been revivals, where characters. I'm still waiting for somebody to create a role for me. That's the one. I really want that more than anything. I want that more than a television show. I really do.
I can
I
see that. I really, I can totally see why that would be something you'd want to do because that is
yeah,
your thing. That's, yeah, there's no one that could
yeah.
do it like you.
And I've had I haven't had a comedy special since the fucking 80s. So sorry, 90s, excuse me. So it's like it's time. I guess it's time for me to put a fucking comedy special together. I guess yeah, right? I
I
mean,
think
wait a minute.
actually, I think that this is such a perfect time for you to do a comedy special. Like it would be amazing if you did a comedy special for
Will you
Netflix or
do it
for
with me? Will you be a part of it?
100%. I'll produce it.
Okay.
I'm producing shit now. I'm not kidding.
You'll produce it,
I'll
Jessica.
produce
You'll
your
produce it.
show.
I'll do
I
it.
swear to God.
Oh my God.
And I'll get and I'll I don't know what your writing process is, but I know people who can help with that kind of stuff.
My writing process is I go out on stage and just start talking.
Yeah, you're like
And
me.
then
I never write
I
anything
remember
down.
when it's good and I keep it.
That's
And
how I
then
am.
yeah, I remember when it's good and I keep it. And then I just keep going. You know what I mean? Because I like you, very spontaneous in the way I work on stage.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
Yeah.
I have something that a piece that I wanted to do for a special. It's like this, I have the first 20 minutes. I can tell you that. I got the first 20 minutes.
That is it
Without
like
a doubt.
stories about stuff that you want to tell?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really about us. It's about queer people, and I use a personal story about being called sir about being mistaken for a man in a women's dressing area.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
so common. I mean, half my friends have gone through that. I
yeah.
know yeah.
Well, I use that story though to go through the history of us as queers,
I love
and
that.
yeah. So I literally use that, and then the way it ends, it's so hilarious. You just
Well, we
laugh
have to
your ass. I
talk
mean, it's
about that.
really, really funny piece. Yeah.
Do you,
But
do you
yeah, so
constantly get letters and no, you must get so many
I
messages
get
from
thousands
people.
of
I
DMs a
know you
day.
do. You do because you're so out and proud and like just who you are and people it's so hard for people to live like that. I mean, you
Mm.
must hear so many stories of people who say you inspired them or
I get everything from you are the reason I am out. Thank you so much. To I live at X place, and if I tell my parents, they'll murder me.
I
They'll
know.
literally murder me. Like they will be, there are countries, where that happens.
Right.
So, I mean, I get desperation stuff from young queers. And I kind of take it very seriously because,
I know.
it's like I can't ignore this, I can't ignore this obvious cry for help. And so I generally, I've been pretty good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if anybody seems suicidal to me, I'm always, listen, you're not alone, and go on the internet, find yourself a group. There's, find out where the closest gay community center is, get your butt over there, stuff like that. So I try to be as positive as I can with people.
Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, I know you're sensitive like I am, so I just have such a hard time that people are struggling so much, especially now. Like I just, and it must be hard to read all these stories and talk to
Mm.
people that are.
But they're nicely interspersed with other people telling me that I'm going to hell. And
I know, I
which,
know.
Well, I just take those and post them. When people tell me
I
that
post
shit, I
them
just post them
too.
on stories. I just post them.
When someone writes me a mean comment, I write back Joanne with a question mark. Like I'm always asking them if there's someone. I'm like, Ann Sheila. Like they're like, why are you calling me Ann Sheila? I was confused.
Love you, Sheila.
Yeah. They're like, who's
Love it.
Joanne? I'm like, Joanne. I just keep writing Joanne. Like it's insane. I fucking lose it. I used to go on their thing and find the worst picture of them and then post it. Like I used to lose my mind a little bit with the hate because
You know what? That's kind of fun though. That never occurred to me to find a really shitty
it's
picture of
amazing.
us.
They're like,
Yeah,
you fucking ugly bitch, and then I find like a horrible picture of them and blow it up and then
oh,
post it. And with
I
no
love when
words.
they call me a fat ugly dyke, and I always go, yeah, and I still get more pussy than you,
I
son.
I
It
knew
makes me
you were
so
gonna say
happy.
that because you can get whoever you want, and it's so funny
I know.
that it's so amazing. What's going on with your personal life?
I'm single right now. I've been
Oh
single for a
wow.
minute. Yeah. Well, COVID isn't helping.
I
I
know.
mean,
Where are you gonna meet someone? I mean, it
exactly. I joined Lex. Have you joined Lex? Do you know about Lex?
no,
Oh,
what's
obviously you haven't
Lex?
joined Lex.
What's
Lex is
Lex?
it's a dating app for lesbians.
Oh,
So I
I
joined
have
it,
a
and then every now and then I'll put something up, and they'll come at me. But what I find is, yes, definitely a daddy. I have it tattooed on my arm. There it is,
course.
daddy.
Yeah.
And I've always dated younger women, but what I find is the ridiculously young women. I was like, I'm 62.
I
Okay.
know you
I'm
can't be with like a
please,
19.
please don't. No. I mean, I'm okay to fuck for a night if you're, you know what I mean? If you're over 21, I'm okay with that.
If you're
But
over
I'm
11, I'm
certainly
fine.
not going to be involved with you in a relationship. I mean, no. It's
First
also
of
just
all,
even saying I would fuck someone over 21. I'm like, would I? Because
I know it's like I know
but
what
I
you mean. You
know.
get to a certain age and you're like, oh my God, it's just a child. It's
Yeah.
really, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it must be weird for you to be on a dating app because people go on your thing, they're like, she's on here? Like, is it,
Yeah. Well,
how
that's
does that
really
even
fun though. When they do that though, that's really hilarious. They're like, oh my God. I said, see how bad lesbians are? Even I have to be on a lesbian dating.
You know what I said? I say a joke that I met my wife on Kun Hunt. I like I say I was on Snatch Match for years and I couldn't find anyone, so I went on Kun Hunt. It was
Snatch match.
Snatch
Let's
Match
just
is
make
my
an app
favorite.
called Snatch Match. I think we should just make that app.
We should create a thing called is Lex like a good one? Like are there
Well, I mean, okay. Um, don't cancel me. Don't cancel me,
Oh,
Lex.
stop it.
Don't,
Anyone that
don't
listens
cancel
to
me
this.
when I say what I'm about to say. It's very lesbian.
Yes. Well, that's okay
You
to
know,
say.
no, you can't do this, you can't do that. There's a lot
Yeah.
of fucking rules.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I mean, like they took this one out because she said she was basically a POC looking for a POC, and they took her off because
What?
it was like because I think it was some algorithm. You know what I mean? That took this thing out. I read it and there was nothing wrong with it. In fact, it was one of the most
Oh
of them
my.
were like, I'm like, is this a dating app? Is this supposed to be for sex? Because here's a girl going, hi, just looking for someone to ride a bike with me. I'm looking for, let's listen to the Indigo Girls and watch the
I
sunset.
can't.
And
I'm sorry. If anything
yeah,
is going to get you turned off, it's, I'm sorry. Like, let's just,
here we go. Here, I'll read you some.
oh my God, let's do it.
Let's go.
I just want to spoon and eat hummus. Yeah. Tell me
Okay,
one.
here we go. This is supposed to be a dating app. I might be last minute dog sitting for the next 2 weeks. Thankfully, I know this pop well and he's delightful. Where are my dog people at? Do you have favorite trails you like to take them on?
Leah, I'd
Great.
rather be with a goat.
I
That, I'm sorry. I don't,
You mean the greatest of all the time or an actual goat?
a goat,
Yeah.
an actual goat. I
Yeah.
can't.
There's one girl in there that's looking for someone to help her fix her bike. I mean, it's like,
What? Go
can
to a bike
we,
shop.
isn't this supposed to fix my pussy?
Why
Can
can't
I-
Why
Fix
can't
my
there?
dildo. Fix my
Yeah,
dildo.
fill this tire. Why
Yeah,
can't?
come on.
First of all, why can't there be one for hooking up for lesbians? Is there any app that I know that's what you'd want? That's what
I
so
would want
many
that
women would.
so
I
quickly.
know why.
Why isn't there a Grinder for lesbians? Why is there? You know, I used to be on Grinder. I would go on Grinder. I joined Grinder, faked as a man, and then I would go on stage and look for the fags in my audience that, you know, where
That
the
is
Grinder was showing.
so
And then I
funny.
would just, and then I would go, "You are not 29, mister," you know,
That's
and stuff like that.
so funny.
It was funny. It was funny. But yeah,
Hysterical.
we don't have anything like that.
What would we
Nothing.
call it? I don't know. It would be so.
Grind her. Grind her.
What do you think about Mr. Potato Head just becoming Potato Head now? Did you know that? I'm very confused because there's a Mrs. Potato Head, so I don't see what the problem is. But Mr. Potato Head is going to have no gender.
Okay. But there's a Mrs. Potato Head.
I know. I don't. I'm not kidding.
That
I
was
don't.
the whole joke. That was the whole joke in toys. Remember?
Yeah.
Every Christmas, it was the Don Rickles voice. Go, Mrs. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head. He just kept wanting a Mrs. Potato Head.
If there was no Mrs. Potato Head, I'd get it. Like if there was just Mr. Potato
But
Head.
there's
But
a
now it's
female
just
gender. Why?
no. Now it's just Potato Head. They're making it just Potato Head. I don't know what's going on. I'm not judging it. I don't understand it. I'm serious. A lot of it I don't understand, which is weird because I'm open and like educated.
Yeah, I can't. I have to constantly call a friend and go, "What's this mean? What now? What now? What?
Me too. I have
Now what
no.
annoying thing? What now? How many fucking letters do we need now?"
I don't know. I don't know. I identify as a brisk. I don't know what's going on. I mean, if
You know,
anyone
when
gets
people
it
are
with
like, "What's your
you.
gender preferred pronoun?" I always say Empress because it's like,
Well, if anyone
what do
should
I fucking care? Call me sir. Call me. You know what? That's going to be any different than it's been my entire fucking life.
see,
I mean,
that's so
and
interesting
then
because you're really just who you are, and you're yeah.
fuck yeah. And I love when they come at me and they're like, "Me, me, 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 me." It's like, you know what? If I am not gender non-binary, I don't know who the fuck is.
I
And you
know.
should probably get down on your fucking hands and feet and kiss on your hands and knees and kiss my toes for what I've done for you to be
I
able to
just
bitch at me about my language.
I swear to God, that was what I was just thinking that you have done so much for this community and you have paved the way for so many artists and so many people. And it's like, and then they go at you. It's
All the
like
time.
unbelievable. They go at me
All the time.
too. I
I
don't
know
know.
they do.
And
Why do you think
meanwhile,
of course I know they do. They go at
it's
all of us. They go at all of us. They
I
say
hate that.
terrible things to Sandy. They take terrible things to Sandra Bernard. Terrible things to
I don't
Sandy.
get it. I don't.
And
And they say
yeah,
everyone.
and
They
they
say
say terrible things to Scott Thompson from the Kids in the Hall. And I'm like, you don't have any idea what that man has done for you.
everyone. They do it to everyone. They do it to Judy Gold. They do it to everyone. Everyone tells me they get shit all the time. It's like, and meanwhile, they're
Well,
out.
Judy deserves shit.
I know. Judy.
I love Judy. She
I
makes
love
me,
her so much.
she makes me laugh so hard.
She'll be across the street from me like, "How you doing, you big dyke?" I'm like, "Oh my God, is that my father? Who is screaming at me?"
It's Judy Gold.
I
It's
know.
always Judy Gold.
We got to get a big reunion of everyone together after this shit ends and
Why
just
we should all just do a big show together and call it the loudest show on earth.
That's a brilliant idea. I'm not
The
kidding.
loudest
Mario
show on earth.
yeah, Mario Cantone, everyone can be in it.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Get all the it would be fucking a fucking riot.
Were people
So
supportive of you when you were coming up, like other comics and other people, or was it,
no, actually the other I started performing in the lesbian world, obviously.
Yeah, of
So
course.
and I was treated like shit.
Mhm.
Mostly because I was making fun of it. I mean,
I know.
anybody, you know what? Anybody can tell a Barbara Streisand joke. Not in
Yeah.
front of me, I'll kill you. But anybody can tell a Barbara Streisand joke. I was in this world, right?
Yeah.
And why would I tell a Barbara Streisand joke when I could tell a Holly Near joke? right?
Yeah,
Because now that's not going to mean a lot to a lot of other people out there.
I know.
But
Yeah.
there was so much in women's music that I thought was just fucking stupid. And I would make fun of, like, yeah, constantly. I would make fun of acoustic guitars. I'd make fun of, the things that they said. I used to do different women's music performers having an orgasm. Like when
That
Holly
is
Near had an
funny.
orgasm, she just screamed Nicaragua like 1,000 times.
Did you ever do the Michigan Women's Festival? No,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
performed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and there was no one had a bra or shirt on. So I was just
It's
like, it
it's
was
the
so
most.
wild. It was so, I'm like, I need a motel. I am not staying in a tent. I'm like a Jewish girl from New Jersey. I'm like, this is not how, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. Well, in Michigan, they put you in a hotel,
Well, a lot of
a
people would
motel.
stay,
Yeah,
right,
you
a
didn't have
motel,
to
but a lot of people wanted to stay in the on the land.
on the
And you
land.
have to say the land.
The land. I know. Do you want to hear my favorite of all time women's music festival stories
Of course.
of all time, bar none? You won't believe it when I tell you this story. Okay. And I will try not to laugh in the middle of it because it'll
Okay.
ruin it. That was the Southern Women's Music Festival. So it took place in Georgia. And it was just one of the smaller festivals. It'd be like 2,000 people, like that. So 2,000 people there. There were cabins for the performers. There was a bunch of girls who were, they were given a shot. And the reason they were given a shot was because they worked at the festival, like they
At the
were
land,
workers.
on the
They
land.
were volunteers and blah 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 blah. And they'd been there. This was like the fifth or sixth one. They've been there for many years. They formed a little band, and their lead singer was not a lesbian. Okay, she was just a
I
Southern
know
girl.
it. Yeah.
Okay, she was a Southern girl, and they were doing like rock, basic rock. It was good. They were a cover band. That was it. I mean, it was like not like anything else that was going on at the time. So it was me and Kate Clinton. We were the MCs
I
for
love
that afternoon.
Yeah.
Kate and I are standing backstage, and we're like, there's friends of ours. They were friends. We knew these girls, so we were like, yay! And so they do their first song. Then the girl gets done, and she looks at the audience, and she goes, "Damn, y'all got some big fat women out here."
Oh no. That
And
is
Kate, I looked at each other and went, "Did she just what?" So we started laughing.
That's like the worst thing.
So wait. She then says, damn, y'all got some big fat women out here. I may be fat, but I want to lose weight. Wait, so you know how they have handicapped people? They had differently abled, I think they were called at that time, people right in the front. They had an area for them, and there were a bunch of women that were laying on mattresses, right, so that they could look up at the stage, right?
Oh
And
no.
she points at one of them who was quite fat. It says, "That lazy cow ain't even rolled over since I got out here."
This is like a Saturday Night Live sketch. I'm not even kidding. This is the worst thing you could do at a lesbian music
Oh
festival.
my God, the audience went insane, jumped up, started rushing the stage. So Kate and I look at each other and we're like, we have to go out. We're like, trying to stop. Do everything. It's me and Kate Clinton just looking at each other going, turn on her mic, turn on her mic.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they rushed this band. That woman had to be escorted off
Yeah.
the land.
The land.
The land, women's land, for fear for her life, basically. She's going to get beat up by lesbian thugs.
What did she think? Did she realize what she did?
Yeah, I don't know.
That is so strange to
took
me.
her off the land. I never heard anything more about her, but
It's
I was
so
there to
sad.
witness. Y'all got some big fat women out here. I may be fat, but I want to lose weight.
At that kind of environment, for people listening that don't know, that is like going to like a Jewish event and like being talking about being pro-Nazi. Like that is the
Yeah,
worst.
it's just it's wrong.
It's not
Hey,
gonna work.
Kate, that's where I wrote this. That's when I off the cut wrote this joke. Because Kate Clinton was like, inexcusable, fat is a feminist issue. You know, she's saying that. And then I said, I read that book halfway through, I got bored and ate it.
That
It's a
is such a
beautifully
funny
crafted
line.
joke. It's a beautifully crafted joke.
Beautiful. Like I wish I
Yeah.
thought of it. Beautiful.
Oh my God. So yeah, that is my favorite women's music festival story.
Oh, that's a great story, Leah. So what's coming up next? Do you have other stuff you're doing? Are you still doing TV filmings now, or are you?
I'm done with I was supposed to be doing a movie, and that movie got pushed. So
Yeah.
we're like, do you want to go back to New York? Fuck no.
No.
It's still storming there. And I'm supposed to be back next week. I'm up for something right now. So if I get it, then I have to go where it's even colder. I have to go to
Oh,
Toronto.
yeah, there's so much being filmed there now. I mean, there
Yeah,
was anyway, but even more so now in
yeah.
Toronto. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm
And that's going to be again the 2-week quarantine. This will be like this will be the third time I'll be doing the 2-week quarantine.
Oh my God. This is so crazy. I can't wait for this whole thing to end. I mean, I know everyone feels like that, but it's so crazy.
Please. Yeah, I don't want to. You know what? No, actually, I love it. I'm glad we're doing this. This is a great time.
I
Never
hope
had more
it's so-
fun. Never had more fun. You know,
I'm
I
I'm
jerk off a lot.
I get it. What else are you gonna do? I mean, really, it's like you gotta let it go. You gotta let it out. I
Well, look,
understand.
I'm here now. So this is great because I did the quarantine 15 like everybody else. So I'm now in the process of trying to take that fucking shit off. So
Well, I
look,
think you
I
look great.
walk like as soon as I'm done with you, I'm about to go for about a 3-mile walk.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
Well,
because I can
I'm
do
gonna,
that here.
I know. It's so much better to take care of yourself there. I mean,
Mhm.
here you just want to, ugh, it's horrible.
You poor
I,
thing. And then you were caught in traffic last week.
yes, it took me 2.5 hours to get home from the city to Long Island. I live 19 miles away. I'm like, who's going to work? I thought everyone worked from home now. It was insane. But it
No,
was
traffic's
raining.
back.
You know, it was
Traffic's back.
raining. And when it's raining in New York,
Oh,
it's horrible.
yeah.
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 But
So that
I adore you. I love you. I'm so grateful that you did this. I'm so glad we
I
got
love that you're doing this. I love that you're doing this and you're talking to funny people and you know what I mean? I think it's great. It's a
Yeah.
perfect fit for you to have a podcast, girl.
Yeah, no, I love it. I really do. I thank you. That means a lot coming from you. And we're going to produce your show. You got to have a one woman, I mean, you have to have a 1 hour special. It's time.
Yeah.
It's such a perfect time for you to do
I
that.
know exactly how I want to open it.
All right, I want to talk to you about it. I'm seriously going to contact you about it. I'm not kidding.
All right.